Rex. Here we are again, and we're with Angel Falls in the background on the Orinoco, which is
Thank you.
it's so suiting for our Orinoco Flows community. And when we discuss the 9-star key, and today we're here to discuss the 2 Earth child star. And I'm just curious if you can share a little bit about the essences that the child star brings.
Okay. The 2 Earth child star is very much about social life, and life in their family has a level of quote unquote perfection. And so for the father to be there, the mother to be there, these things are like key aspects for a 2 Earth child star. And this need of tender loving care, of course, all children want tender loving care, but for the 2 Earth, this is like a dominant feature for them. And in a way, they see the world as the world should be perfect. This is the attitude that they carry. They carry this sort of attitude. So it's very challenging for them to sort of say that there's something wrong with, that they're going through. And oftentimes there are, of course, things wrong, especially emotionally, for the 2 Earth child star, which, unless handled in a way of family love, family care, and especially around mealtime. Mealtimes are a big period of emotional support for a 2 Earth child star. And the meals, especially breakfast, but other meals too, the lunch and the dinner, for it to have a quality of ceremony around it makes a big difference for a 2 Earth child star.
Well, that's interesting, because I remember you even saying with one of my clients who was a 2 Earth, and she was pregnant, and she was having a lot of upset, and she was having a lot of difficulty, and you were saying make a ceremony about breakfast, like how you place, like mindfully place your napkin, place your silverware, set the table so there's a harmonious space in about you and around you while you're breaking your fast for the day. And I know it seems kind of out of the box, but it's such a deep settling for her when she did this in the morning. It was almost like, as you think of the earth and the grounding, it was a way to just really center. And I'm just wondering, what is challenging for an 8 Earth? Or what should an 8 Earth avoid? Or if you're a parent of an 8,
you mean a 2 Earth child?
Yes, a 2 Earth child. What should we avoid?
Over the decades, something that I have seen consistently is that if a 2 Earth child star is sent off to a boarding school, this is like bad news. This does not work for a 2 Earth child star. I think that's a given. I mean, I haven't met any exceptions with that, because I've known many friends, students, whatever, and it's not like I've met one when this happened, where, okay, I managed it. It was not well managed. So sending a 2 Earth child.
Is this part of splitting the family?
Yeah, leaving the family. This thing about sending the child off to school, to a boarding school where they, so in other words, they are living with other people. So they are not, like with their parents or their family or brothers and sisters.
Are getting that special, like, nurturing care that.
Exactly. So they need to be in that aspect of their family community, their family base, and this is very important for them. Of course, modern life how it is, but not modern life how it is. At times, parents split up, divorce happens, separations happen. But moving on from that, then I come back to the mealtime. And at the mealtime, be it how you lay the table, how you present the food, have a candle lit, or have some flowers, or whatever, or say a prayer, or sing a song. But there are some ceremonies that occur around the partaking of food, very important for a 2 Earth child star personality. And this remains even as an adult. This facts, because basically, and this is being shown now with research. I don't often go into what research says, but in research, for all of us as human beings, meal times have it heightens the oxytocin levels for us. So having, a meal generally for whichever your star number, and having it in a way whereby you can really enjoy it rather than it's in a hustle. This makes a big difference to the feel-good factor of us as human beings. And for the 2 Earth child star, it's like top of the league, that this has to be how it is. Otherwise, the rest of the day or whatever goes on is not in a smooth place. So this 2 Earth part of and in doing that, I've seen incredible benefits for people who carry that, how it makes such a big difference, even with people who have had traumas from their childhood, be it parents separating or setting that helps to stabilize things a lot.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Rex. And I have 2 children that are 8 or Earth orientations, and my daughter is a double 8 Earth. She's got the 8 Earth child star, and she has the 8 Earth adult star. But my son is a 5 Earth, and I know we have a separate recording for 5 Earth because there's a special situation around the 5 Earth and the 9 star key. But a 5 Earth can oscillate or usually tend to pick one of the numbers, right? 2 Earth or 8. And we definitely see all the traits that you're describing here now about the 2 Earth with my son. And it's interesting around meal times, especially around breakfast. He needs support while he's eating. You can't just put him there and expect him to eat on his own. Like, how in the morning hustle, like before school, and you're trying to get in the shower and get your ducks in a row to get out the door. But you have to be with my son in order to eat. We've known that for some time now. And ever since he was a little guy in the high chair, you have to be part of him eating. And now that he's 6, it's when we sit down for family meals, if there's any kind of discord at the dinner table, it's very upsetting for him. He initiates saying prayer. He initiates it on his own. And I've noticed lately he initiates singing.
So singing can be a big part of the ceremony, or of the gratitude, the giving thanks of feeling privileged, honored that I have food in front of me that I can eat and enjoy. Thank you. So yeah, this is very much so.
I do have, friends who are also very in tune, or just in tune to nature and just the world, right? They live a little bit of outside of the box, let's say.
Sure.
And they all notice that Tom, my son, he walks to the beat of a different drum than most people. And meaning that he has this ability to dial into nature. He's very sensitive in his heart. So he's the type of guy who will go out and just compliment a teacher and be like, "You look so beautiful today." Or he'll just out of the blue, I love you. And when he does these spontaneous statements, it also elicits this, comfort around, it draws in somebody kind of just paying a little special attention to him. So I noticed that aspect of how a two-earth child really needs a little bit more attention. He said like nurturing. And I know you're not trying to disqualify the fact that everybody needs that.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, it makes a big difference. It's something that how best to put it? Yeah, it's a core need that is carried. So yeah.
Well, what about the governing organ for a two-earth?
Okay. Yeah, the organ is the stomach.
Ah,
The organ is the stomach. So obviously, having the stomach be happy is a big need for the two-earth, two-earth child star. This for sure. Let's get real with this rather than just talk about it. Let's celebrate with a meal.
well, and what about when a two-earth gets kind of upset in their tummy and their stomach? What is something that can help settle that? And would that upset be because of nervousness or just disharmony in the space? Like what would cause an imbalance in the stomach?
The big topic. There are simple ways to answer that, but there's a deeper way about it. I'm going to touch on the deeper way about it. The two-earth child star quality also carries a domain of what I call now. Now, meaning whatever is happening in that minute, in that moment. And so the breathing is relaxed, or the breathing things just happen, which creates an uptight quality. And soon as an uptight quality happens, quote unquote, in the now, the stomach is impacted, because it's like somehow something happens where it is held. It is like the solar plexus gets tight or whatever. So now becomes an area of which has I'm going deep in the topic, but I'm in the moment with it. So, let me stay with it and continue. So that aspect of now needs to be acknowledged in the sense of what is really going on. Obviously, in many social situations, that cannot happen because, a meal is there or some other thing is happening, and who wants to really hear about whatever is upsetting the situation? They don't. But returning to that now, whatever that trauma was or whatever that happened, especially with two Earth child star personalities, can shift traumas that they may carry for a long time. And a way of sort of shifting that, which is a deeper conversation or a more involved conversation than what we are really chatting about here, is for a ritual to be done where it depends on the circumstance, but where if it is the circumstance is just an occasion rather than a person that was creating the upset, then the person can choose a meal or cook a meal that they like to eat. And they set a table where opposite them is, quote unquote, the situation or the experience that upset that now for them, whenever it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, because it will lock in. They tend to have an inner chatter when whatever that is. And they serve themselves, and then they put it out for be it the person or the situation, and they have a conversation with that experience, whereby So do you know how I really felt from that? Do you? And it's all imaginary. It's totally imaginary. And they go through that process and they come to a resolution where they feel that they can now eat and enjoy what they have in front of them. So they go through that process where that happens. And that meal for that person or that situation, they then put it out for the birds or put it out for nature in some, forest or some garden or whatever. This shifts it.
Wow.
I know I went way beyond my time with that, but seeing that you asked.
I'm appreciative but this is a little bit different than any of the other rituals that you've presented so far, because there's such a ceremony about it. Do you like a level of ceremony where you see in ancient cultures? Oh, I guess we have a storm coming by. There's a window blowing in as we're talking about ancient cultures and ceremony. But there is, and this reminds me of my son was really upset when we moved away from his grandparents and we uprooted the home and we left this dog behind. And I remember you had brought up doing a ritual by making a drum. And he ended up turning this into this ceremony that he conducted. As a 5-year-old, I was like amazed because we were all in there. We were by this teepee. He made a rock circle from all these rocks that were really important to him that he had collected. And we had dad there, me there, sister there. So the whole family was part of the ceremony that he was conducting and beating this drum and calling in the spirit of the dog. And it was so powerful. And I can even feel now just like the essence, the craniosacral therapy, just tracking the space, or craniosacral therapist, you could feel the settling in his stomach because it had been so out of whack for him. And it was hard for him to eat. It was hard for him to sleep. And he would just get into these kind of violent outbursts. So I think it's really important that you say this, because this ceremony has been lost to a great deal in our culture and society today. I mean, I know if you go to church and there's a certain element about ceremony, whether you're, whatever orientation of religious, I'm from the Christian lineage, but taking communion, there's a great deal of ceremony around that. But outside of that, you see ceremony in weddings, but we certainly don't see ceremony around our meal times. So I just think it's just a really interesting ritual that you've put in place, Rex.
Sure, no, but I know that time-wise with where I went with it, but yeah, that makes a big difference for the two earth, and also for some situations, also with the individual where certain things happen. This is a ritual that can facilitate, can be a process which sort of dissolves it. Because the meal is brought in, food is coming into your body, that which was representing the conflict or the challenge or the upset has been offered, a dialogue occurred, and you went through a process of it. And some of this, by the way, dreams could occur from that ceremony. The next night or for a few nights, certain things could come up. Whereby, and I know this from certain people in the past, whereby certain things, which was more with a person, they would have a dream maybe the second night or third night with this person, and actually I think so. It can go into deep levels because you're bringing also the environment into it by putting it back on the earth for the birds or whatever. This part is important. It needs to be put back onto the earth be it by your house or be it you drive somewhere or walk somewhere and put it in the forest or in the woods or whatever, this part, yeah, the earth. So that kind of circle is important.
Wow, that's amazing. I love this. I always love spending time with you, Rex, and learning, about this whole person care, this holistic approach to our mind, our body, our soul. So,
Thank you. To bring it into a more simple, more immediate situation as regards the two Earth child star upset and what to do to shift it. First off, I think, as you know, to eat standing up is bad news for all of us. To talk about it from the Oriental model, the stomach meridian, it runs down the body across our thighs down towards our second toe. So when you're standing up, you're activating all of that, i.e. to do something as regards, in other words, the autosympathetic is sort of ready to interact with whatever is happening. So sitting down is important to have a meal. So so a two Earth child star personality with something that they are upset about, to sit down is important, and start letting go of the back of their navel. Ideally, to then have some boiled hot water poured back and forth that they sip would then settle things.
thank you, Rex.
I mean, does that ring a bell, or does that? Okay, but yeah, because there are so many situations now, even snack bars or whatever. When you walk in, there's nowhere to sit. You have to eat standing up. This is not good news. Of course, don't get me wrong. I mean, in our modern life, we are in situations where we have to do what we have to do with how it is. I mean, to think, but for someone who carries a two Earth child star, it's best for them to avoid this, because somehow it will really dent their energy and their functionality will drop.
Excellent. Well, thank you for today.
My pleasure.